Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Marin from indiebirth here with a quick Instagram Live, the topic of the week. So what's the topic of the week? Well, let's see. I saw about a dozen women this week come through these very doors and or virtually prenatally, if that's a phrase. And the theme of the week has been the way our maternal ancestry might affect our experience. So this is a complex topic. It probably deserves its own podcast at some point. But this is true whether we are pregnant or not. However, pregnancy and birth really tend to unearth these patterns that have probably been in our families for so long. So countless examples this week, from physical discomforts to emotional breakdowns, all of the things that we tend to think are really, really common in pregnancy. And they are. But what if we shifted our perspective to what was going on in this person's family, and then trying to apply what we see, what we know, to what's going on with them now. It's really fascinating, and it's been such a continuing education for me to go deeper with this kind of work and hold space for women that are also willing to do that work. So all kinds of questions come in that you could ask yourself if you find yourself pregnant or experiencing something that, is uncomfortable and you're trying to figure it out. What was your mom's experience in her own pregnancy with you? That's a really open-ended, simple yet complex question. And this might require some deeper conversation and connection with your mom, if that's possible, to really get the answers. Because what I've noticed, especially this week, is that if we know our birth story, if we know the maternal lineage of birth stories, they're usually pretty superficial at first. And women are really great at glossing over how they actually felt. So in hearing other people's birth stories, of their mom, for example, so their own birth, it takes some work sometimes to talk to our moms or our grandmas and get to the root of their actual experience as they remember it, rather than the really pretty version of, oh, it was difficult, but, there's always a but birth was wonderful and I would do it again. That's kind of the gift that time often puts on birth stories. But if we're being really inquisitive, then we can ask more direct questions. How did it feel when you knew you were pregnant? Was this a surprise? Was this not a surprise? What was the dad's reaction? What were the circumstances of life at that point? Was pregnancy difficult? Did it fit into life as you knew it, or did it feel really disruptive? All of these kinds of questions can be really illuminating in our past, and they're not our experience, but these energetic patterns have been passed down from grandma to mom, and then sometimes to us. So it's been really interesting to sit with women in this way and have the universe show me that this is a really important space to hold for the people that are willing. It's so easy to act like pregnancy is just our physical experience. And sometimes that's really great. People have easy pregnancies. And sometimes it's not. And so, when things are less easy, perhaps they're seeming rough, that's the time to dig into some of these questions. And of course, my hope, my experience has been that it's totally worth it, that people really get transformed by understanding that a lot of what they carry isn't even them, yet it is in their family, by understanding that they have the power to change the pattern And this is really important. So we want to, I think, in many cases, change the pattern that our family has held around something important to us, motherhood, birth, pregnancy, being a woman, so that we can affect change for the future generation, which is right in here. So super relevant, super important, lots of deep discussion that could continue with this topic. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll probably do a podcast at some point in the future as I get better at asking the questions and as I get better at holding space for this really huge topic that I think we are at a perfect time in history to really engage in and really honor our ancestors, really honor the past while creating our future. And so this is one way I found to do that. So I hope you have a great day wherever you are and a beautiful weekend. The baby bump here says hello and goodbye for now, and lots of love from indiebirth and Sedona.